Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very interesting day because my star pick of the season has got an ankle injury. Welcome to At a Time, where we talk about fantasy Premier League football in a podcast, in a YouTube video. In case you're wondering, that player was Jarrod Bowen, but we'll get into that a bit later. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening and subscribing. 21 weeks, Gameweek 21. We're off to a hot start of the season. Some FA Cup fixtures in the international break as well. So we've got quite a bit to talk about. So let's get through it. Mike, how is it going?
It started off. I was excited. It was a new year of FPL.
We did a wildcard video.
The wildcard was pumping. The players were resting. I thought we were going to go into this new year. We didn't even need to play our wildcard. The wildcard video was for you, not you, Nate.
For
It
them.
was for everybody else. Right? It was for you guys out there. I was like, do you want to see what our wildcard could look like? And now
It's turning into an us video. It was for
you're
us.
gonna have to play a wildcard because honestly, like aside from Salah and Son, this is why anybody who made their transfers early, you have to be wary because you can't make transfers and there's like almost a 2-week break with multiple tournaments occurring on that period. Because this is what happens. Now I know, Nate, you did make an early transfer, and you're lucky that your early transfer hasn't cost you yet.
It was a bit of a safe though one. It was a very low risk transfer. So yeah.
What was that transfer again?
It was I took out Trippier to bring in Van Heck from Brighton because of the injury list they have, and also because I wanted to free up money, and he was 4 mil, so he wasn't necessarily going to start for me either. I was already happy with my defense, so it was just a money transfer, so it didn't really affect me.
Yeah,
but
so yours was okay.
Those that may have jumped on Bowen early, Exhibit A, man rolled his ankle yesterday or 2 days ago against Bristol in the FA Cup, and is rumored to be out for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe more. So
maybe up to a month, and in FPL terms, that's not looking good.
That's a lot of points.
In a normal FPL season, I might hold, but
in this bull market,
in this moment in time when you have Salah and Son out for definite because of a mid-year tournament, you can't just hold a third player that's injured. And that because I mean already you're not starting 2 midfielders.
Yeah. Well,
so,
even in my case, because I'm holding Salah, so now I have Bowen and Salah. I can't hold Bowen. I need to get rid of him or Salah. But yeah.
So we'll start talking about Jarrod Bowen. We had a whole podcast little segment where we said, Jarrod Bowen, is he essential?
He's the
man. The answer was he was essential until he can't play anymore. Now he's not essential. Now you got to find some more things. And I was already starting to talk to you about the fact that with Paqueta injured long term,
might be harder for West Ham.
I was starting to rethink my Bowen pick. But now that Bowen is out alongside Paqueta, I fear for West Ham over the next couple of fixtures.
Oh, and also just a quick plug to Kudus, who's also away on international duty. So Paqueta, Kudus, and Bowen, the people that normally do it for West Ham, are all gone. We're going to have to rely on Sushek.
Is that a bad shout, eh?
No, bad shout. You called it a while ago. He did score. Go.
I'm just saying, West Ham's going to have to play old school football where they just lob the ball along and hope Suchek gets his head on it because he's much the tallest person for like
Peter Crouch vibes.
3 kilometers.
I wanted to say, what would be your top players to replace Bowen with? Who would you be looking at?
Well, we still trying to replace. Okay, if I replace Son with Richarlison and I've replaced Salah with Jota, so those 2 are out. Okay, of my thinking. So now I'm going to think of a third player to replace Bowen with. That it's such a tough one because we did our wild card, and I think you started talking about the player earlier. I don't know if you want to mention him now. Foden is the best backup player there in that list, considering I already have Palmer and I already have Saka. If I didn't have Saka, I might be thinking of Odegaard.
Okay.
I'm already thinking that Pascal Gross is a
good pick.
Good one. But I'll start with Foden first, and then we can talk about Gross. But I want you to tell me, because you were rumor mongering, you were stirring the pot.
I was cooking in the kitchen.
You were creating friends, but also foes. Just
Foden's.
just tell me about Foden now. Why do you suspect that this may be the FPL pick of the moment?
Because we mentioned it, I think, a week or two ago, where other Man City players have a chance to shine in Haaland and KDB's absence. So, because of that, Foden is going to be taking probably more starting role. And if you think about it, even when KDB comes back, Alvarez will probably go up to number 9. I wouldn't put it past Pep to play Foden in a number 10 role, because KDB doesn't really play there. He's more central. And also, who else? Doku's out still. And Grealish doesn't really do what Pep wants him to do. Grealish comes on later to cross balls in. He doesn't do, so he won't start. So Foden will start instead of Grealish. And for the price range of, for me, it would be Bowen to Foden. I think it's a pretty solid move. And to put the cherry on the cake, I took out Trippier and City are playing Newcastle. So all signs are pointing in that direction.
All signs are pointing towards a Trippier hat-trick here.
Stop it. Speaking of Trippier and double back into defenders, we have news of Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Dear.
Also someone in the wildcard that we said was a must-have.
Not only did we have him in our wildcard video, not only did I have him for a while, and he was more than likely one of my top captain choices for the next couple of weeks with Salah and Son gone. And what happens?
He gets himself injured.
There's another month gone. Now, we're looking at about a month out, and with that amount of money, like, I was not considering playing my wild card for Salah and Son. For Bowen, I was still thinking, yeah, I can fix this with a -8. With Trent out on top of it.
Yeah, it's tough now.
I'm wildcarding. What choice do I have? The FPL gods have spoken.
They've forced your hand.
the heart of the cards. I was dealt a card.
Yeah, you put your Egyptian god card into the graveyard, and now he's gone off. It is a tough one now, and it has forced a few people. It's definitely forced your hand. I think I'm still fine, because I didn't jump on the Trent train yet.
Yeah, because it's Wednesday. Wait until Friday.
Yeah, true. Friday comes. This player's injured, this player's injured, this player's injured. And it's a Friday deadline, just by the way.
Yes, they changed. I was about to say, so everybody get your head out of the gutter and get your phone reminder on.
Set alarms,
Friday
and then
deadline.
Set an alarm for the alarm. And then an alarm for the alarm that you may have missed the other alarm.
Your Taylor pick's going to come on that Friday game and score, I think.
Good, thank you for that. I also want to say, quickly, is that on the deadline as well, this is also a 2-week-long game week. So there's a lot that could happen. So is it wise to play the wild card now? When you got a 2-week game week coming up? It's a tough one. Something for you to decide, not me. So I'll let you talk about it.
think about it this way, okay? With midfielders, 4 of the top 5 midfielders are unavailable.
Yo, that hurts, eh?
Think about that. 4 of the 5. Haaland, the second highest scoring forward, is unavailable, and our highest scoring defender is unavailable.
Both of them. Well, the one's trash, but it's fine.
So it's not looking good, and I understand what you're saying. It's 2-week game. Bad things can happen. It all depends on whether you want to take the hit for the bad things that are happening right now,
or just now,
that are
later,
going to happen. And for me, I think if you have up to 4 injured players right now, and you also have some rebalancing to do,
I'd agree.
Now might be the time. But it all depends on a few small things. Let's talk about this Trent injury and who's the best replacement for Trent. My money is on keeping with our wild card and going straight on to Gusto. I know he was a pick alongside Arnold. He may be the pick instead of Arnold right now for a lot of people who weren't thinking about him. What do you think?
I'm definitely going to say that I'm staying on the Gabriel train because of Arsenal's good fixtures. So he will definitely start for me. I'll definitely pay Pedro Porro. he's up there as well. If you don't have him yet, this would be a good time to get him as well with funds that you get in from Trent.
What about your Walker pick?
And yeah, I was about to say, and I would still back Kyle Walker because he's the only real other premium right back left that's not injured in the Premier League. Think about it. Trippier is doing badly. James is injured. Trent is injured. He's the only English right back that's really got a big name to himself. So you would expect him to do something, and it's Man City. So, you know, Newcastle's also got a struggle streak coming up. So I don't know if they're going to beat City. I think I back City to keep a clean sheet. Sorry for your hack pick, by the way. So I would say probably Walker. It's a good shout as well.
I think a lot of people are going to just revert to taking Arnold out for Trippier, though.
You're not wrong, and I think, but are they going to do it this game week? Do you think?
It's a tough one because they got Man City and they got Aston Villa, which I would say are two fixtures that Newcastle will either make or break their season from where they are right now.
I am considering bringing in Botman though instead, just for a cheaper Newcastle defense. But I'll evaluate their performance.
That's not a starting player. That's just filling up your bench.
Yeah. Well, my bench. Like if I quickly just tell everyone and just review my team, you could always just check it in the mini league, which you should join, by the way. Currently at 33 people. I've got Van Heck, Pedro Porro, Gabriel, Taylor, and Cash. A very budget-orientated defense, but I think a very staple defense. Because, I mean, I could start Van Heck against Wolves at home this week, or I can start Taylor at Luton versus home, which probably will. I can even start Cash versus Everton, but I won't do that because Cash is a bit of an unknown at the moment. But you know me, my strategy has been to keep the funds for Haaland in case he returns, which is why I went with a thinner defense. Maybe that's the play people need to do. Maybe they need to thin out their defense to buy back Haaland.
Now, speaking about Haaland, here's the thing. I don't know when this man is coming back. And I'm not willing to take the risk on a wild card starting my team where I'm transferring out Salah and Son because I don't want to hold non-playing players to bring in a player who's also going to be a non-playing player. Until I see strong evidence of Haaland back, should we rather leave Haaland out of our team but keep the money? Is that the strategy?
Yeah. That's what I'm doing. I think that is the play. It's the play if you want Haaland. If you never had him to start with and your strategy doesn't fit around it, then don't worry about it. But if you've got a plan and you want to rebuy him, I would use this opportunity as I'd use this situation as an opportunity to try and get funds for Haaland. Because now your trend's out.
Let's talk about three letters that will define the season might even define the trophy for the Premier League.
It's not TAA, is it?
No, that one broke his ankle. The three letters is KDB.
Yeah.
Because this man is back. He came on the field. City scored 3 goals in 15 minutes when he was subbed on. He got
the De Bruyne effect.
People are starting to punt on bringing him in the vacuum
as a Son or Salah. Yeah.
What do you think about people bringing in KDB right now?
If you're not going to go with Haaland at all, I would say bring him in now. I would be tempted to, but I won't have the money for Haaland. That's why I'll go with Foden.
Unless you take Salah out.
I don't think that's going to happen. I've got too much money on Salah. He's still 13.2. So until he drops to closer to where I bought him for, I'm not going to get rid of him because I know I'm going to rebuy him as soon as he comes back. But that is the play. But you have to go Foden, Alvarez, or KDB at this point, I think.
KDB for me is a worry because Pep said I think we have been so lucky this season that we didn't have to fight with Pep roulette. Alvarez been starting, Haaland been starting, and Foden is the only one who's sort of started the season, not always starting, but I think he's essential right now to what Man City are doing. But we are going back into Pep roulette season now for the second half because KDB is going to be used, but he's going to be used sparingly. That's what Pep said. He won't play full games. He might come on as a sub. He might start games and go off 50, 60 minutes. I don't know if that is worth putting that amount of money for a player who's not necessarily going to guarantee 90 minutes for the next month.
Yeah. I back that. And in hindsight, thinking now, He's also just come off an injury, and so far we've had quite a bit of re-injuries this season. I mean, Bowen's, this is his second injury within 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Trent did have a bit of a knock early in the season, and now he's out. James
Bukayo
is.
and Kunku.
I'm not going to talk about James and Kunku. I was about
Kunku
to
was out for like 3 months, and then he came
played
back.
one game or
And
two
then
games, and then
and out with a hip injury that was going to be 3 weeks, and then they said it was 3 hours, and I don't know if he's been injured or not. I just shut off when it comes to Chelsea. Speaking of Chelsea,
speaking of Chelsea, quickly, just fire the medical staff. We'll start there.
you want to have Palmer in your team. Fair enough. This man missed 4 chance sitters this weekend against Middlesbrough, costing us a 1-0 defeat. And he's my best captain choice. So I'm feeling a bit wary. Gusto had a really good game if you just watched Gusto by himself, but not Chelsea's not. Don't worry about Gusto and clean sheets. It ain't happening.
Wait.
So,
I need to double back to this. Palmer's your captain?
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Added Time FPL, where we discuss captain choices for FPL. And I will start by saying my captain choice. Who are you going to captain, Nate? Who's left? You can't captain Trent, you can't captain Salah, you can't captain Son, you can't captain Bowen. Those are 4 captain picks gone. Watkins doesn't have the strongest fixture, does he? Everton
no.
away.
Oh.
Everton will shut up shop, and if it was Everton at home, I'd say yes, but Everton away is a tricky one. Newcastle can be for City can go. They can hit 6 goals, or Newcastle can come back and Trippier scores a hat trick, like I told you. And Solanke's playing Liverpool. So you tell me who's the captain pick, because for me, my perspective, the player that's most consistent and is most likely to score points is Stone Cold's Cole Palmer. Even though he missed 4 chances, he's still getting the chances.
There is no better captain choice. Because I also have, I don't know if you can see that, but I also have him as my captain. I mean, there might be in Bukayo Saka might be able to be a captain. So I would say one of the two, to be honest with you. Unless you want to big kahuna it and captain Cameron Archer. But see about that.
And it's weird. If we had said Captain Cole Palmer 3 weeks ago, everyone would be saying, yeah, that's a good differential captain pick, or that's an interesting one. Right? I'm not captaining him because he hauled in the last game week. I'm not captaining him because I'm trying to be fancy. There's literally no one else to captain. And that's why you even thinking about captaining him, because there's no one else. I mean, at this point, if Man United are playing this poorly, we might as well captain Pedro Porro too.
I mean, Richarlison, maybe, actually. It might be one to consider. I think if we go top 4, I think 4 choices here, because we got to throw in a defender captain just for our friend. So
Okay.
so we got a Cole Palmer and a Saka. Crystal Palace at home for Arsenal, Fulham at home for Chelsea. We know fixtures for Chelsea don't mean anything. It just depends how they show up on the day and if they feel like throwing the game or not. But
someone's gonna own London this weekend for those 4 teams. We're gonna see who.
True. So one of those, I would throw in Richarlison there. I would throw in Bowen, but he's injured because he had Sheffield. So, but Richarlison in there, and I would look at the Pedro Porro pick as well as a captain for defense if those that are playing with defending captains. I'd stay away from Solanke. It's Liverpool. We just spoke about it last week or earlier this week. Liverpool are going to keep clean sheets because they need to stay at the top now. So, and Trent's injured, so they can't afford to do anything fancy.
Do you know who the most creative midfielder in the Premier League is?
Isn't it Salah?
For chances created, the most creative midfielder is none other than Bruno Fernandes.
Really?
133 chances created in 2023. In terms of the whole year. He's one of the most creative players. He's behind him is Trippier, who we've talked about, Gross, who we've said is also a good player, and and Saka, Trent, and Odegaard are there. That brings me to Brighton. Maybe Brighton is the pick for this weekend. Because we haven't been speaking about a captain from Brighton. Is Pedro Gross, Ferguson, João Pedro? Is that who we're gonna go with?
It's also a shout.
Wolves away, so Brighton is playing at home.
And your captain will be at the last game of the entire game week, so at least you have something to build on. Not the worst idea to maybe look at a Brighton captain.
Yeah.
I
Or you
would
have
say
a
the
week and a half.
safest, the safest is Palmer, probably.
The
Just
safest
track record.
differential captain
The safest
in a
differential.
week.
Yeah. I mean, we
In
called out Garnacho and he's still scoring, so maybe people bring him in and captain him too. So there's also that option.
I was gonna say about Fernandes. Yes, he's very creative, but Man United are up, then Man United are down. We don't know where they're going. I
Fernandes,
don't know what.
Fernandes to me, I apologize for the disrespect, but I think he should be like a 7.5 midfielder. I don't think he's worth what he is at the moment either. So we'll go from there. We'll do with that information as you wish. But I would stay away
I
from
knew,
him.
in an atmosphere of injuries, AFCONs and AGECONs, people missing a hero emerges from the shadows of Germany. A hero who could save our FPL, who's coming in at a decent price of 6.5, I believe, and his name is Timo Werner. 6.5, newly acquired for Spurs on loan. Is he option in FPL? Do we wait and see?
Werner after burner. Bro, I'm gonna be so sad if he comes back and scores for Spurs and does like he didn't for Chelsea at all.
He's scoring against Chelsea. That's just a given.
Yeah, but does he take out Richarlison? Does Richarlison now actually play in the midfield?
No,
Do you think he'll play number 9 or he'll play left wing for when Son's away?
I think Werner will. I think he'll be back up to Richarlison possibly, but I think Richarlison keeps his number 9 spot until Richarlison plays like
Terribly.
Richarlison did for the first 4 game weeks of the year.
He needs to play
And
like
then
Brazil Richarlison.
Werner might play alongside him. There'll still be a little bit of a betting in time. I think he's just cover with Son gone. He's basically Son's cover,
and it's also
Son will
loan,
be
so
replaced. Yeah,
it's a good move.
Werner.
It's a very good move
I think
by
good move for
Postecoglou.
Spurs.
Yeah,
And the way Spurs play, think about it. They play a high line, okay? So everybody's up front. So Werner's going to be close to the goals a lot of the time, and he's going to play off the shoulder of those defenders, and counter-attacking is going to be insane. Just the pace. Don't be like Spurs needed to because they have an injury list. Everyone's got a bad injury list, but they had a bad one too.
Yeah.
So I think people can keep an eye on him. Not sure if it's gonna go anywhere. You should definitely keep an eye on him. There's someone else we need to talk about.
Tell us.
He's back. He's finished his gambling. He's sworn it off. Arsenal are looking to buy him. Everybody's actually
Chelsea's looking to buy him.
He's been outpriced from the market because Brentford want over 100 million for a player that technically was only worth 30 million before his name blew up. The man, the legend himself, Ivan Toney.
Tony Stark. Ivan Tony Stark. So 0.7% of people own him. So he's not unowned.
Already?
And I mean,
some of those might be even dead accounts.
He comes back to Nottingham Forest at home. What a way to welcome yourself back with a hat trick.
And that's at home.
That's at home.
Forest are decent when they play.
Do we captain Ivan Toney?
Imagine the scenes. Tony, you bring in Tony and you captain him for his debut back in the Premier League 2024 and he scores 24 points.
Oh my word. Actually, I could see him scoring 24 points.
I can see Tony outscoring Solanke and Watkins this weekend.
This is the thing with Tony. He's ice cold and he's just like, he just looks aggressive, like he just wants to score goals. And he was valued at 8 million, so clearly the FPL still rate him highly. I wouldn't be surprised.
What's Brentford's fixtures look like that we should be thinking about Tony?
This is definitely a spontaneous segment of the podcast because of Ivan Toney's return against Forest at home. That is definitely a game to look at.
After that, they've got Spurs, Man City, Wolves, Liverpool. They don't have the best fixtures.
All the more reason for Ivan Toney to score goals to increase his price to justify that 100 million price tag.
I am wary of this Ivan Toney debacle, and I can see it just blowing up in our faces because I'm most likely people aren't going to take him this week, and the next game week he'll
He's
be
like
the most
8.1.
transferred in player.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Because he scores a hat trick.
Yeah. See
but
it to
again,
those 0.7% of you. Chuck a captain on him. If you took in a gamble already, just throw a captain on him. See what happens.
some of you are playing a safe game, and some of you are playing your own weird game where you don't know what you're doing, who you're doing. You're just making transfers left, right, and center out of some sort of imaginary game strategy. This is your moment.
It's your time to shine.
You've time to bring in Ivan Toney and captain him from the get-go and see what happens. Bring in Timo Werner without seeing him. Put KDB in your team without knowing if he's going to play 90 minutes or 60 minutes or 40 minutes. You know, do your thing, so we can watch you, learn from you, and then follow you.
And then at us so we can see and show your amazing move. And if you don't want to do that and you want to play it safe, then go for it, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it safe, at least for a while, because I'm still first.
There's no need to panic.
No.
There's no need to panic. In fact, in my case, I need to play my wild card and really do well. You need to kind of evaluate how everybody's wild card
goes,
so that you can use your wild card to adjust post this game week. Because you might see, okay, everybody passes you, so you can use your wild card to get a leg up on them. But if we all play our wild card now, you might be sitting at the end of the week with the weaker wild card team, and then you have no way of adjusting to win.
True. Or everyone's wild card goes horribly wrong, and I'll stay where I am, and then I'll just get stronger. So there's a lot of scenarios.
But we're coming for you. We're coming for you. I'm tired of taking hits. Chase you.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where I don't want to take hits anymore, because I seem to be getting close to you, but every time I take a hint, I say further back. So that's why my wildcard is a good opportunity now to fix my team and start taking less hits every week to gain on you.
Sounds solid. Sounds like a good strategy. One that you should stick to.
We're out of time already. The added time whistle blew.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I ignored the ref. I'm on my third yellow. It's looking for a suspension. Yeah, I need to be careful.
Oh, that was on Bruno Fernandes. Speaking about yellow cards.
He's on 4.
He's on 4.
Yeah, don't bring him in. If you made it this far to the video, congratulations. You've earned some sort of special information.
Bonus content.
DLCs.
Don't bring Bruno.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all that we have time for. That's what we've covered. We'll be back again, not next week, the week after, because of such an elongated game week of Gameweek 21.
Yeah, just keep that in mind. It's a long game week. The next game week is, what is the 31st of January? 30th
yeah, it's
of
end
January.
of Jan. Yeah.
So you have a long time now to sit and watch for injuries, see how everybody's wildcard plays out, see how your wildcard plays out, and then we start going. The true start of the next FPL season, I feel like the second half of the season is just, we've got this weird
like early
now,
Feb, yeah.
And then in the Jan, that's when we go again. That's where we go. We've got double game weeks coming up. We have other tournaments sprinkled in, Champions League, FA Cups. We have blank game weeks where we can talk about making a free hit team. We got lots of stuff coming up.
2024 is off to a hot start. A very hot one. Cool. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you have some information to better your team. Feel free to drop us a like and a comment with your team, with your plans, with your moves, with your captain choices, so we can also have a bit of insight. I'm sure we'll help you just as much as you help us. We'll see you in the next week or so. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
And goodbye.
Yeah, we'll see you then. And Ted, row your boat to the top with us.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so good. Cheers.